Last night, I decided to walk home instead of waiting for the bus. It was late, I was tired, and the idea of just putting one foot in front of the other felt easier than standing around under the flickering streetlights. There's a set of woods between my place and the main road. I had to cut through them once before during the day, and it knocked nearly 20 minutes off my walk. I told myself I knew the path. I told myself I would be fine. At night, the woods aren't the same. The trees crowd closer, the air feels heavier, damp, like it's clinging to your skin. Even the ground seems different, softer somehow, like you're not walking on dirt, but something that remembers every step you take. I had my phone light in one hand and my keys in the other. I walked quickly, eyes locked on the narrow trail. The usual night noises felt distant, muffled. No owls, no foxes, not even the rustle of leaves. Just me and the crunch of my shoes. That's when I noticed something strange. Every so often, I glanced behind me. Normal habit. But each time, I saw my shadow on the path, which should have been impossible. I froze and turned in a slow circle. The canopy blocked the moon. There were no street lamps, no houses, no passing cars, nothing that could cast a shadow that sharp. And yet there it was, long and stretched across the ground. Mine. I thought maybe my phone light was stronger than I realised, so I switched it off. The screen went black. I stood in total darkness. But the shadow stayed. I felt the hairs on my arms rise. My stomach flipped. I crouched, touched the dirt with my hands just to make sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. The shadow crouched too. For a second I almost laughed in relief. Maybe I was just overthinking. Then it raised its hands before I did. And it waved. I don't remember making the decision to run. 1 second I was frozen, staring at this impossible gesture, and the next I was sprinting down the trail with branches tearing at my face and arms. My lungs burned, my heart hammered, but worse than any of that was the sound that followed me. Something was running too. Not in boots, not in shoes. It sounded wet. Bare feet slapping into mud. Fast, heavy, right behind me. I didn't dare look back. I just pushed harder, legs screaming as the path twisted and blurred in the dark. The noise grew louder, closer, until I could almost feel the breath on the back of my neck. I burst out of the tree so suddenly I almost fell onto the road. A car horn blared as headlights swept past, and I stumbled into the grass, chest heaving, body shaking. The woods behind me were silent. The path was empty. I stood there for a long time, trying to convince myself I'd imagined it. Stress, exhaustion. Maybe I'd nodded off on the bus and dreamt the whole thing. Anything to explain away the memory of that wave. That awful sound chasing me through the dark. Eventually I forced myself to keep walking, sticking to the main road all the way home. Every streetlight felt like safety. Every passing car made me breathe easier. By the time I reached my front door, I'd almost managed to calm down. Then I saw the light on in my bedroom window. I knew I'd switched it off before leaving. I stepped inside, forcing myself to breathe slow and steady. The house was quiet, too quiet. I made my way down the hall toward my room, every nerve in my body screaming for me to stop, to turn around, to leave. but I had to know. Through the narrow gap under the door, I could see it. A shadow stretched across the carpet. The shadow of someone standing perfectly still inside my room, just waiting. My bedroom light switch is on the outside of the door. I don't even remember why the house was built like that, but for once I was grateful. I reached out, hands shaking, and clicked the switch down. The bulb inside snapped off. The shadow vanished. I almost laughed again. Almost. Because the moment I flicked the switch back on, it was there again. Exactly where it had been. Like it had never moved. I tried it twice more. Off, gone, on, back again. But each time I turned the light on, the shadows seemed to move closer to the door. Now I can't stop thinking about one thing. If it only appears when the lights are on, where does it go when they're off? Hi everyone, thanks for listening. This was just a little one written by me. And actually my first story posted over on Reddit NoSleep. Time for a random fun fact. Shadows aren't really things, they're just the absence of light, which means technically, they don't exist. So yeah, you've been scared of nothing your whole life. Oh, and don't forget to stick around for the bloopers. Unlike the last video, this one was mostly easy. Except it still took me way too long to say anything to explain away the memory of that wave. I don't understand why that's so hard. It's not hard. Anything to explain the way the memory. Anything to explain the. Anything to explain. Oh my lord. Anything to explain away the memory of the wave. Anything to explain the memory of that. Oh my god. Anything to explain away the memory of that wave. Haha, nailed it.